So, hello, Peaceful Profits Nation. It's Ros Place here with an exciting client spotlight episode for you today. Today, we're talking to our client, Amanda Diamond, a holistic health coach, Army veteran, mum of two, and autoimmune thriver. Amanda helps women get to the root of their health issues and builds supportive habits to start feeling their best, and works with women, primarily mums, who are tired of existing in survival mode and get ready to start experiencing something more. Wow. So, Amanda, thank you so much for being with us. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you here. So you describe yourself as a few things. You describe yourself as a health coach, an Army veteran, a mum of two, and an autoimmune thriver. So I wonder if you might start by sharing with our audience a little about your autoimmune journey and how that's led you to help other women.
Yeah, I think that I've worn a lot of hats in my life. And so I like to kind of include them all when I'm kind of giving a little bit, sharing a little bit about myself and what I do. And my autoimmune journey was really a huge part of how I got to where I am now, why I decided to be a coach in the first place. And it started for me about 12 years ago when I started having symptoms. And as I included in my bio there, I'm an Army veteran as well. So I was living a lifestyle of working out daily and eating quite healthy and doing all the things that I thought I needed to do to be healthy. And then this illness kind of came out of nowhere and blindsided me and really kind of changed my whole path. And through learning and exploring and trying a lot of different things over a period of a few years, I ultimately connected with some practitioners that helped me learn how to support my body in a way that I was able to get off the medications I had been on. I was able to get out of that just existing and start actually thriving. So that's why I call myself an autoimmune thriver, and to let people know that just because you maybe have been diagnosed with an illness of some sort, or you're struggling with symptoms, that's not all there is for you, that you don't have to be characterized by that illness, and that you can learn to feel good again.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for explaining that. Yeah, I can really see how all of those roles that you have had and have in life and those experiences are something which you really bring to the work that you do. Do you think that they give you an understanding of the women that you work with?
Absolutely. And I think that my path, my entrepreneurial path, as it unfolded, was just so obvious to me for that reason, because as soon as I started learning to properly support my body and saw the changes in me, I immediately was like, people need to know this. People need to learn that this is possible, and they need to be given hope instead of just a diagnosis. And I think that allows me to just relate to my clients on such a deep level and understand what they are feeling, what they're going through.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting. I'm hearing you talk about perspective, really, and the attitude that you have towards your circumstances. And one of the things that you really mentioned or highlighted as one of the biggest successes that you felt you'd accomplished through the Peaceful Profits program was a shift in your own mindset around how you shared your work. Would you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a huge shift for me in my perspective since I found Peaceful Profits, and I'm so glad that I did. I've invested a lot of time and money into different programs, different mentorships over the last few years to try and help me learn to be a business owner. And because when I got into coaching, it was all about helping people. That's all I wanted to learn as much as I could about health and nutrition. And I wanted to be the best coach. But I think anybody who's a entrepreneur, as we quickly learn, there's so much more that goes into it than just being a good coach or being good at what you do. There's the marketing and how to structure your business in a way that works for you and all of these things. So then you start having to learn so much more. And finding Peaceful Profits has really helped me to see that I can structure my business in a way that works for me in my life and is supportive for me in my life, and isn't just kind of the martyrdom that I had been experiencing in the past, because I really was kind of burning myself out trying to be there for my clients. And I also struggled with the sales aspect of this business. And that does not come like second nature to me at all. It's tough. And I've struggled with it for years. And that idea that asking someone to work with me, asking someone to invest in me was really uncomfortable. And I didn't know how to do it in a way that didn't come off as pushy or salesy. And I had worked with mentors in the past that kind of taught those kind of tactics, almost like tricking people into buying from you. And I think that's the thing that most attracted me to Peaceful Profits, was listening to the podcast and hearing Mike talk about the fact that you don't have to trick people. You don't have to use pushy sales tactics to get people to invest in your services. So it's been a complete mindset shift around sharing what I do with the world, and being able to look at it now as if I don't put myself out there, if I don't get out of my own way, how are people going to find me? And there's all of these people that I could be helping that aren't getting access to me if I'm not putting myself out there, marketing myself, and getting in front of them.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. And that perspective and that shift is something that I really noticed about your journey. And you said it's like you're able to share your work, you're able to promote your offers in a way that feels good to you.
Yes. Yeah. And ultimately, I loved, through working with Peaceful Profits and going through the program, I learned step by step how to structure my offering in a way that is not only beneficial to the client and giving them massive amounts of value, but also is sustainable for me and going forward in the next 5, 10, 15 years of my business. And that just brings me so much peace and confidence, I guess.
Yeah, I noticed that was something, again, that I noticed is that throughout the program, your confidence grew. You became more and more confident as you went on. Felt like something that you'd really embodied. You felt it was as though you were being yourself, sharing your work, selling your offers in a way that was you and felt right to you.
Yeah, and I think that the confidence related greatly to having a plan and having a structure, and the help in creating my premium offer And because up until this point, I've very much been, I've been working one-on-one with my clients, but it has felt somewhat scattered. And so to have that structure in place and know exactly how you're going to help someone from, step 1 to step 10, it really just takes a lot of the pressure off and a lot of the uncertainty. And I think that was really a big part of how my confidence grew as well.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was the day after you got your offer review back, you said, I've sold my first high ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. I
Yeah.
had somebody reach out to book a consultation call, and my program was not complete yet, hadn't been fully created, but I had the solid idea in place and the pricing figured out and the delivery, and had that offer review for Mike. And so when I got on this consultation call with this new client or potential client, I was like, well, I'm just gonna pitch that, because I know it's not completely ready yet, but I'll just see how it goes. And yeah, she was delighted to sign up. And it was just a real testament to like getting out of your own way. And you don't know what the answer is going to be unless you ask. So and in doing that offer, I had raised my prices significantly from what I had been charging in the past. I had been staying in my little comfort zone, my little pricing comfort zone for a while. And in my offer review with Mike, he had basically said I needed to double my prices. And so that was scary, but I did it. And yeah, I had someone sign up the next day.
That was so cool. That was fantastic. And
Yeah.
congratulations as well, because you've just launched your beta version of your new program. And you said that you'd sold $5,000 in a week.
Yes, which was huge for me because I haven't been able to break the $5,000 per month kind of ceiling in my business yet. I had gotten close to it, but I'd never gotten past it. And so, yeah, launching my program, the beta version of my program, selling 5 programs in a week was mind-blowing to me.
I love the beta program approach. It helps you to really get some momentum, get things moving, and it's fun. Are you finding it fun running a beta version?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love the idea because this first round is helping me to work out the bugs, structure the program, and really kind of feel my way through as I create it. And I think that will just create even more confidence in being able to sell the program moving forward.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you've also said that you've seen an increase in leads and sales. So tell me about that. Why do you think that is? How has that come about? What's it that you've done that's made that happen since being part of Peaceful Profits?
I think it has so much to do with being able to effectively communicate my message to potential clients. And that was something that I struggled with greatly before the program. And I love the emphasis on the transformation and the value, and getting really clear about where your ideal client is at currently and where they'd like to be and where you can help them get. And the clarity in that messaging, I think, has made all the difference, because I had felt a little bit lost before about, you're taught to do things like posting on social media and kind of getting yourself out there, giving some tips about, try this, try that. And but nothing really stuck. And as a person who has a hard time with self-promotion in general, it was a little bit uncomfortable. And just the way that Peaceful Profits helped me find that clarity on the transformation that I was providing, and then communicate that effectively, I think has made all the difference.
Yeah, so effective communication, really clarifying how it is that you are helping others and knowing how to clearly communicate that. Because I remember you saying you kind of, like you say, you try Facebook ads and that doesn't work. And then you might try, oh, I need to be having this approach, or this is the thing that, and all these kind of like individual approaches to promotion. But I remember you saying once you came into the program, it was like all the things are here, like the foundations are here, the bits that you need to get in place so that you can then go out and promote and share your work.
Yeah, exactly. And I have found in all the trainings I've taken over the years that it was teaching a lot of tactics, whether it's the organic social media posting or running Facebook ads, or whatever it is. I was learning those little bits, but it was like there was this underlying foundation that didn't exist, and this big missing piece that didn't exist. And that related to the creating the offer you want to present, and structuring your business in a way that works for you. And then that effective communication piece was just all of this really powerful underlying knowledge that wasn't there before. And so everything just kind of seems to be coming together now that I have that strong foundation. And it's so clear to me now, like, you can try all the tactics, all the, little individual tactics in the world, but if you're not effectively communicating what you do to your ideal client, you're not going to reach anybody. You're not going to get through.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. So I want to talk a little bit about your wonderful work and your program. You help women mums predominantly, who are, I think you describe it as living in survival mode, really at the point of exhaustion many times, helping them to thrive, live vibrant versions of themselves. I'd love it if you could give our audience some tips. If you're right at the beginning of, or if you're finding yourself at that place where you are exhausted, where you aren't taking care of yourself, could you give our audience some tips, something practical that they could apply to their lives that you teach?
Yeah. Well, through my work, when I started coaching, I would tell people about, something to do with nutrition. Oh, I learned this thing. It's so great. Like just eating more greens. It's amazing how much better it makes you feel. And I would give out this information and this pieces of advice. And I would notice that most of the time, people knew what they should be doing, but just weren't doing it or couldn't do it. And so a lot of my work has been digging layers deeper over the years and really digging into what is that? Where does that come from? And what is the disconnect between knowing better and doing better? So a lot of the work that I do with my clients comes down to habit creation, and also getting to the root of the things that are holding them back, the things that are holding them in survival. And I think I work with so many moms because motherhood just becomes that time in our life where we kind of put ourselves on the back burner and we're looking after everybody else in our lives. And it just becomes about putting one foot in front of the next. And so it's making it through each day and just getting to the end of the day, and that's all you're hoping for. And that can be a pattern that's very easy to fall into, but very hard to get out of. And one thing that I think is a real big game changer is when we start looking at habits in a different way, looking at them, because if you're viewing something from a place of, I should do this, I should work out, I know I should eat more vegetables, I know I should cook more meals and eat less processed food, that coming from a place of should is kind of coming from a place of shame. And it's easy to dismiss, like, I know I should do it, but maybe tomorrow. And then tomorrow never comes, right? Because we just are in our habits, are in our coping mechanisms. So I think that most of the transformation with my clients really starts when we start looking at these things from a different perspective and looking at them from, like, what is my body asking me for? What is my body truly craving right now? And a lot of times for people, it's rest. This is something, especially with moms, that I find more often than not is the hardest thing, is to learn to listen to your body and give it what it needs, give it rest and downtime, and start saying no to things and really prioritizing yourself. So more so than the tangible, practical habits, I think it's, maybe picking that one thing that your body is really craving and give it that from a place of love and support, and know that you're giving yourself a gift by doing that versus it being something that you should do because society tells you that it's good for you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Giving yourself what you need, giving your body what it needs, not always what it wants, I suppose, but what it needs. And rest, I agree, is something that we try to postpone by or delay by creating some kind of stimulus that's going to get us to the end of the day. And I love what you say about shoulds and shame as well. That's really powerful. Shoulds come from a place of shame,
Yeah.
Wow, that's really helpful. So pick one thing is what you're saying. Pick one thing and just do
one
that
thing and try to be consistent with it. And if you're not perfect, it's okay. Just keep trying. Every day is a new opportunity to try. And I think that getting stuck in that cycle of perfection or that on and off the wagon mentality is really damaging, and a place where people tend to spend a lot of time. And so picking one thing and trying to be consistent with it, and knowing that that thing is supporting you and supporting your body. And if you don't get it right one day, you always have the next day to try harder.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I love that. We're at one of my favorite parts of the Spotlight interviews. And I'd love you, Amanda, if you would, to, as a client who's currently dialing in their high ticket offer, to offer the one piece of advice that you would give to others who are working through that process too.
I think the one piece of advice I would give is to not give up. And I know that it can be daunting. And like I said, I had invested in so many trainings, so many mentors that weren't quite the right fit for me. And it would have been very easy for me to give up with the amount of time and energy and money that I invested, and things not quite lining up. It would have been very easy for me to say, okay, enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. But then I found Peaceful Profits, and I think the biggest difference was that I knew that it really aligned, the teachings really aligned with me and who I am as a person and how I want my business to be. So, all it takes is that one piece, that one missing piece to really bring everything together for you. So, had I not kept going, I never would have found this information, and it truly was life-changing.
Oh, that's wonderful. So your advice is don't give up and find people who are trainings that are aligned with you and what you want your life to be like and how you want to create your business.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's so easy to come across so many people that are, making big promises, and but if the methods that they teach and their approach is really not aligned with who you are, it just doesn't land the same way. So I think finding mentorship that truly aligns with you is the best thing you can do.
Thank you. That's really wonderful advice. We're going to wrap up this episode. So I'd love you, Amanda, please, to let our audience know where they can find you and what you're up to.
Sure. Well, they can find me at my website, which is amandadiamond.com, or on social media, I'm Coach Amanda Diamond. And I've got a couple new things in the works, continuing to work on my premium offer, but a couple other offers that I hope to launch in the new year. So you can sign up for my newsletter on my website to find out more about those things and learn about all the fun things that'll be coming down in the next year.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being with us here today, Amanda, and for sharing all of this wonderful wisdom with our audience. And on my behalf and on behalf of the whole of the Peaceful Profits team, we wish you every continued success.
Thank you, Roz. I appreciate you so much too.